The Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch both say, it's already learned in the last three sessions, Bevatlin Talmud Torah Lishma Mikra Megillah. Or Megillah Dav Gimel, Shulchan Aruch over here, that we stop learning Torah in order to hear the laning of the Megillah. So the question, which we've already asked and dealt with in the past, is why is it considered a bittul Torah, a nullification, a canceling of learning Torah to hear the Megillah? The Megillah is Torah. So there's many answers to this question. The answer that we've given many times in the past is a qualitative bittul Torah. There's different levels. So that's what they bring over here in the Dirshu, Mishna Berura, in this footnote. And it's in many places. They quote right over here from the Shilas and Chuvas Beis Ephraim. He says over here in Aruch Chaim Siman Samachesh, Kasav shemedumar kishaisik belimud Mishnah v'Gemara shelegabehem limud nach neshav kibitl Torah. Talking about an individual who was learning Shas, he was learning Mishnayos, he was learning Gemara. So now he's just going to switch to just hearing Psukim. Not with any commentary or anything, just shallow hearing Psukim. So that is considered a bittul Torah. So that's one answer. Asher Weiss discusses this in Minchas Asher. Many other people talk about it. This is a concept of a qualitative bittul Torah. Very important idea. Now, in the beginning of this footnote, he quotes from the Aruch Hashulchan. Right? Aruch Hashulchan in Ar Siman in Osei says, "Shmikol makom yesh bittul Torah be'etzem halichol l'makom hakriya. V'chein behamtana ad sheyasvu kulam yaschil l'kroya." The bittul Torah is going there. Going to the shul is the bittul Torah. Also waiting for everyone to gather and to start the laning. Also the Maritzchia says this, the Gemara Megillah and Dav Gimel and Aleph. So that itself is a bittul Torah. See the Aruch Hashulchan inside. The Aruch Hashulchan over here writes, Afal gav devada I got Megillah havi l'munah, even though that avada for sure laning in the Megillah is also Torah. Walking there, until everyone starts gathering and everyone is ready. And they actually start with the laning, Havi Bittul Torah. That itself is the Bittul Torah. So the obvious point that could be made on this Aruch Hashulchan is, what do you mean? When you're walking to shul, you're also thinking about Torah. You're right, but it's not the same as sitting down engrossed with learning in depth, etc. So that itself is a bittul Torah. I'm waiting for everything to start. Sometimes it's hard to focus. When are they going to start? I need to think about that, make sure I'm there for the brachas and my mind's there and everything. Anyway, that is a second explanation as to what the bittul Torah is. Third explanation that they quote over here, and they say, look at all these other places for more answers. The Avnei Nezer, this, that, this. A lot of answers. The Hagos Chochma Shloimo Teretz Kishemechuven Bekriyoso L'Kayim Mitzvahs Megillah Ein Makayim Az Mitzvahs Talmud Torah Shi Mitzvah Cheres. The Chochma Shloimo says a chiddush. He says like this. Rav Shlomo Kluger says that when you're intending on the laning, and your intention is to fulfill your mitzvah, your obligation of the laning, you're not fulfilling the mitzvah of learning Torah. Take a look. It's a massive chiddush that he says over here in the Chochma Shloimo. I know it's hard to read. We'll try to zoom it in. He says, "Li'eshiv kushas ha'olam," to answer up the question that everyone asks. My Ravusa Havit Mevatl Talmud Torah or Megillah Nami Havit Torah. The Megillah is Torah. What's the bittul Torah? What pshat in the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch? Kasavti Li'eshiv. The pshat. One explanation is like this: the kavana l'shnei devarim l'mahani. The mind can only be thinking properly about one thing at a time. If a person has the sole intention of limud haTorah HaKadosh, of learning Torah, mitzvos mikra megillah, so it doesn't count as laning. And if your intention is for the laning of the Megillah, in a Makayim Bol Talmud Torah,
not much like that by Kriya Shema.
You're not fulfilling Talmud Torah. Actually, it is mashma like that by Kriyat Shema.
No, because we say you still get Talmud Torah for that. When you say you at least get Talmud Torah when you say so it's my Kriya Shema.
Oh,
right? Yeah. But at least you get that. So it's mashma you get both.
Yeah. We learned around 11 years ago, recordings, rabbiblond.com, Siman 47. In Hilchos Birchas HaTorah, it also comes up in another place. That's the main location, though. If someone says Birchas HaTorah, and then after they don't say the psukim, they don't say that. Boom, they just go straight into Shema. Or if a person was masupuk, he wasn't sure if he said Birchas HaTorah or not. So no one else was around that could cover him in the Brachas Birchas Torah. Everyone already said it. There's no minyanim later. You can't find anyone who said it. And it's not a laning day. So the halacha is you have in mind when you say the bracha of Avarabba that Avarabba counts right before Shema as a Birchas Torah. Hold it. The Shema afterwards that you're going to be reciting count as Torah after Avarabba. Well, I don't know, David. I don't think you were with us when we learned Birchas Torah. Were you with us?
That long ago. Wow.
I think it was.
I think you were, and I wrote a test on that Simon. I only wrote 3 tests in my life. That was one of the Simonim I did.
When was it? When was it?
When was it? I think 11 years ago. Yeah, test for everyone in the Chavura. Yeah, yeah.
8 tests.
I know.
After the CPA, I'm done.
I know. Me too.
I don't think I was. I don't know where it was. I think we were together 11 years ago, but I'm not sure where I was. I don't think I did.
The halacha is that the Mishna Berura passing over there that it does not count if you're fulfilling your obligation with the Shema. Because it's counting as your obligation for Shema. It's not counting for Torah. However, if it's after the Zman of Kriyat Shema, for example, you're davening at a later minyan, and you already recited Shema earlier, so now you fulfilled your obligation of Shema before the late minyan. So now your Shema later is Kikari B'Torah. Oh, Kikari B'Torah, if it's considered like laning, like reading from the Torah, then it counts. So if it's in the Zman, we see that it can't serve a dual purpose, AK, that you're going to fulfill your obligation with the Shema, and it's going to count as Torah. However, if it's going to be after the end time that you could recite Shema, because you already said it earlier, then it's just going to count as Torah, not as Shema.
But aren't you getting, you're not getting credit for Zman Kriya Shema, you're getting credit for Kriya Shema as well.
When? After when you already said it?
Yeah, after Zman, Zman Kriya Shema.
It's Kikari B'Torah. It's like you're reading Torah. Right. Yeah, it's like you're reading Torah.
But you're still getting credit for saying Kriya Shema.
For Kriya Shema. You're getting credit for... No, you're not, because remember, you already fulfilled your obligation of Shema earlier.
When?
If a guy is davening at a late minyan.
Right.
So he is already saying Shema earlier before the minyan. He fulfills his obligation with the Shema before that minyan. The Shema that he's saying at the minyan is just like reading from Torah. He already filled his obligation from Shema.
That I have to take it.
No, what's the problem?
No, because I don't know. Does it say that there? It says that he said Shema earlier.
That's the case. He said if it's after the Sof Zman, that's right, the Mishna Berura has these machalik over there.
Because I thought the case is that you're saying Kriya Shema for the first time over there.
No, if you're saying it for the first time and you're fulfilling your obligation, the Mishna Berura says that it does not count as learning Torah, and you should be stringent and you should be careful to learn actual Torah after davening. You'll say, what do you mean? I said Avarabba, now the whole interruption of davening. No, davening is needed, so it's not an interruption. All right, so that's a proof to this concept. All right, good. Now this is the David, you want to say something? No? Okay. That is the Chachma Shlomo. This is the Dirshu, and they quote some other things. Look at now. A few more points that were in the Dirshu. They're commenting on the Shai Tzion, who's talking about going to what we left off yesterday. If you have a small shul, going to a big shul, all of that, house minyan hearing Megillah. So look at what he says over here. Start with footnote 13. L'spal b'minyan b'anetza chama k'sheyavsid b'kach mailas b'rovam b'kriyas Megilah das agon Rav Chaim Kanievsky shemikol makom adif lehispal b'netz. Person's going to be davening at a Vasika minyan, but now there's going to be less people there than had he davened at a later minyan for the Megillah. But still, Rav Chaim Kanievsky holds that it is better for him to daven at the Vasika minyan. That's what we learned yesterday.
You learn from that Tadir is greater than Nate's, or
which Tadir?
I'm just curious why you pass off like that. What would be the reason why Nate's is greater than
because it's very important to daven sunrise, and this is even more important than pursuing Nisas. That's his chiddush. That's his chiddush, yeah. Pashas. I mean, we'd have to look up Piskay Teshuvos over there. But now, if David, this is for you. This footnote, you might want to close your ears though. V'chein lahashlam minyan Avur choilim she'inam yecholim lechas b'isal kases. What about if someone's flagging you down when you're on your way to your big minyan, your big shul that you're going to go to, and they said, "Oh, come and join the minyan. There's a sick person over here, and he can't go to shul. Do you need to join in?" Das Hagon of Yosef Shalom Aliyashiv. He says that what?
Yeah.
Histarif Aleim. You need to join that minyan. After Masfid al Yideza Milos Birovam, even though that you're going to be losing through that with a lot of people, davening with a lot of people. Lefi shemitzvahs gemilus chasadim eino pechusim Milos Birovam. The mitzvah of acts of kindness towards others will not be inferior, will not be worse than the halachic preference of davening, of hearing the laning of the Megillah in a large minyan.
All right, but we don't know why why they're flagging you down. You usually, I'm not sure.
That's why you have to ask, why are you flagging me down? Why are you making this minyan? Are you just
And,
davening at a quick minyan because you want to just get things over quicker than in a shul? Oh,
and
there's someone that's sick. Okay, yeah. So you got to ask.
and why can't that sick person walk 100 feet to the bigger minion?
Because the guy's sick. What's wrong with you?
How do you get
Come on.
how do you get how do you get we got to the shul somehow? It's not it's one thing. So does that mean you're not allowed to walk by a hospital? I'm saying if you let's say it's a hospital for sure a hospital. I'm saying
Yeah,
a hospital.
also, if you're walking
Right.
by and they happen to be outside and they flag you down, same
So
idea.
the sick person got to the sick person happened to get to that shul and not to not to the he happened to get to this shul somehow and not to the one that was 200 feet away where he knew there was going to be a minion.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's not just 200 feet away. Not everyone's living in Buddha Park where there's minyanim every other building,
Mhm.
but the guy's
In
sick.
this
It's
case,
20 degrees outside. Have had some mercy.
yeah. But what
Rahmanim
about
by Shana Yul's Chassid. Yeah. Gomli Chassid. What?
and do we have to ask why they're making the do we have to ask why they're making the minion or we
Yeah,
have to
sure. Say we're making a minyan. We want to try to break the world record for the fastest Megillah laning. Get out of there. You don't need to join that. However, if they're saying, "Oh, we got over here someone who's very sick and he can't get in it, and he's older," and okay, no problem. Yeah, yeah, that's what Rav Elyashiv says. Yeah.
Does Mishna bring down by Minyanim that if a sick person he should try to gather 9 people with him so he can daven with the minyan.
Yeah, if he can't get out,
He brings it out. He brings it
Yeah.
down.
if he can't get out,
All right, so we might be talking about a house minion.
yeah, this could very well be in the house.
All right, it's more likely actually.
Yeah, what do you think? Yeah,
But that's what I was asking. He's getting to that shul to begin with. That's what I'm asking. So it makes more sense. So if you a house minion makes a lot more sense.
yeah, okay. What was the other question?
I know sometimes shuls allow some rabbanim like it, some don't. Like if there's 2 people have yard side of the same day,
Yeah,
2 people in Shloshim the same day,
yeah,
they make a breakaway within
Yeah.
the shul,
yeah,
like in the back, whatever, in the
Yeah.
section like that. So I know some rabbanim don't like that.
yeah.
So I, try and not do that. I try if a guy's making that minyan, I said rather daven in the shul.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, it's something else. Gotta go in the makom, all those things. Yeah. Okay, this is the Dirshu. Save changes. Okay, now we are going to go through briefly the important points that the Aruch Hashulchan says that we didn't already cover. We mentioned a few sessions ago that the laning of the Megillah during the day is more important than the laning at night. Laning during the day is Medivrei Kabbalah. At night, it's Medivrei Soifim. Night is completely rabbinic, while during the day it has a basis from Psukim in Tanakh, in Nach rather. So what's the difference? The answer is L'chayra Yeshnaf Kamina Ladino De'im Ein Lo Lahasi Kriyo Samegillah Rak Pam Achas B'Yoyim U'B'Layla. Someone is just so weak and sick, and he could muster up the energy to focus for Megillah, but he's not going to have the energy for both. A person could only make one of the lanings. You should make the one during the day, as opposed to night. The one laning during the day is ha'ikr, is the main laning. The Rambam says that you should do at night because it comes first. The obligation, person becomes obligated at first. The obligation hits you first, and you can't pass over a mitzvah. The tshuva of the Radbaz stems with this nicely. That if they let you out of jail for one day in a year, which day should you pick? Yom Kippur, Purim, Pesach? No, as soon as they let you out, go out because they might change their mind. Ach be'emes ein raya. But the truth is that there's no proof that we could deduce from this Rambam. The Gamma Rambam Yesh Loimar the Kriya de Yoima Hua Ikar. Even the Rambam would agree that the laning during the day is the main laning. Barak le'inyan shechianu sfir le'idiyah shel levarach shnei pamim shechianu al mitzvah. Just regarding shechianu, Rambam says you can't say shechianu twice on one mitzvah. V'chein Rabban Hossein Megilah Yesh Loimar Daf Al Gav the Kriya Sayom Hua Ikar. Even though the laning during the day is the main laning. Mikol makom lo ya'avod al mitzvah. Even though the laning of the day is the main laning, nevertheless, you can't pass over a mitzvah. You do it at night. Wow. So they want to say like the Aruch Hashulchan wants to say like this. Even though the laning of the day is the main laning, nevertheless, if you could only hear one laning, do it at night because you can't pass over mitzvahs, and that's the idea over here.
Wait,
You pass over mitzvah obligation.
Wow. If it was actually a true shaila about getting out of jail, and in the what's the what do you call the person, the the warden of the jail was actually in a completely honest person, and you knew that they would let you out for any day. Which day do you get out?
That's exactly the point of the Mishna Berura quoting the Rabbaz. You'd never know, and therefore you get out as soon as you could.
You do know. You don't know. You 1 day off a year to get out.
You don't know. The guy could have a medical illness the next day, and his mind won't think properly, and he's going to change his mind. You don't know.
No, but no one knows.
The ward could drop dead in 3 minutes.
The warden actually will know.
The ward could drop dead, and then the substitute's going to be,
okay,
very anti the inmate.
All right. So, but let's say the warden wrote he wrote a star saying that he was going to. It doesn't matter.
Maybe
I'm just saying
what
would
happen
if you.
That's the psak of the Radbaz. If you don't like it, you can take it up with the Radbaz. Ostalin Zakdar Chashulchan. V'mihu pshita. This reason magdim lemitzvos v'yikra b'techilas halaylo. Even though a person has the entire night to lay in the Megillah, nevertheless comes along the Aruch Hashulchan. No, as soon as you could perform the mitzvah of hearing the Megillah, do it. This reason magdim lemitzvos psachim dav daled. You want to be quick to do mitzvahs. This is specifically talking about if it's after when 3 stars came out, it's after Seitzach Chavim. So then we say it's reason makdim lemitzvos, not before. So you have to wait till 3 stars come out and then do it ASAP. V'im kara bein hashmashos nirali diyasav b'diavad desveiket derabanan klumein tzarich latzar v'lekroya pamacheres. And if a person laying the Megillah bein hashmashos between sunset and when 3 stars came out, between Shkia and Seitzach Chavim, so then you would fill your obligation post facto b'diavad because seiket derabanan l'kula, doubt on something rabbinic, we are lenient, and you would not need to return and lay in the Megillah an additional time. These are the highlights of what I thought from the Aruch Hashulchan from this little simon that we're doing, and I thought they were good points that we're not going to chance upon, so I wanted to do that. Piskay Teshuvos doesn't have much on this simon, honestly, but he begins the simon by an interesting point. He says like this. Quotes the Magen Avram, which we learned a few sessions ago. He says, even though Shema really you're supposed to do before halachic midnight, so why then can Megillah you do the entire night? Answers the Magen Avram, over here, over here, we're not going to make a decree that he might come to be negligent. He might be a posheya since it's very dear to him. Laning of the Megillah. It's supposed to Shema, it's every single night. We're going to say you have the whole night. You might not do it. Right? Fine. So he comes along over here based on this idea. And he says like this. He says, with this we can understand why there's no isser of learning Torah before hearing the Megillah. The answer is Aidi de Chavivo Vohu. The answer is in the Magen of Ram. Since the Megillah is dear, we're not concerned that you're going to forget. Bedikas Chametz. Bedikas Chametz, when we learned Bedikas Chametz a while back, it's in Taf Lamed Beis over there. We said that it is prohibited to learn before because you might forget to do the Bedika. Yeah, you're right. But this is Chavif. This is Chavif. This is dear. So therefore, you're not going to forget the Megillah. However, even so, he quotes Aruch Hashulchan, better to do it as soon as you could. Some say lechatchila, you should do it before chatzos as well. Right? Those are the points that he makes over there, quoting others. See the footnotes over here. Oath Gimel we already learned yesterday. Oath Daled is talking about if you have a shul, the Beis HaKnesses Echad Sheish Mispar Binyanim, the Mispar Chidri Tvila. You had a shul, it's like a shtickle minion factory. They've got a lot of different minyanim in a lot of different rooms. The question is, do they need to shut down all those minyanim on Purim to all daven ba'achtos in one large minyan to get Berova Madras Melech going? Or no, you could keep all those small minyanim going. You keep it going. So first we're just going to read what it says over here, and then I got to point something out practically. Yesh lahem lehisachid v'la'argud minyan echad gadol l'kriyas Megillah. They should in fact join together, group together, to form one large minyan, the laning of the Megillah. Kadei l'kayim, in order to fulfill beroiv am hadras melech. Majority of the nation gives splendor after the king. In other words, you have more people, and it's more of a pursuit. It needs to publicizing the miracle. It's and therefore it's not good that people only at night are careful to have one minyan where everyone hears the laning together. However, but in the day of Purim in the morning, everyone, what are they doing? They're davening in all different minyanim. That's incorrect. As we learned, the laning of the Megillah in the day is the main laning. They are not fulfilling with this. A lot of people group together giving splendor to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem. And for sure, they should gather together to daven at one time with a lot of people in the Megillah. Now, what has to be added over here is like this. You've got to make an assessment of what you're dealing with over here. Because if you know that your shul, with all the different minyanim, is going to get 1,000 people, I'm making up a number. This could very well be accurate. It's getting 1,000 people coming in and out of the doors on Purim morning. And you know that your main shul could only hold 400 max. So then what on earth are you going to do? Now let's talk about the white shul over here. All right. Purim night, I think there's only one minyan in the actual shul. I mean, the Sephardi is something else, but I think there's only one minyan over here, Lamaisa. Right? So if there's one minyan and everyone fits, why can't everyone fit in the morning? So you'll say the morning, the other people coming from other places more because of all the options of the different times which are convenient. So I don't know. You gotta make that cheshbon.
Yeah. I mean, you always have people waltzing in and out in the morning.
Right.
Much more people.
There's much. This shul is a morning shul. It's much more of a morning shul. Night, there's not much going. Night, there was nothing here until they started with this hourly minyan thing. And even so, it's not popping. This isn't the place for the night. It's never a night place. It was always a morning place over here. So I think you can't bring a proof from the fact that they have it at night, but not the morning. You know, that they do all the minyanim during the morning. I think you need it. You just can't fit everyone. There's so many people over here. It's just, you just can't do it. You don't have this option. This is talking about if you have this option, then you shouldn't do all the minyanim. Anyways. Okay, that is that. Let's take a look now at the Mishna Berura. I had a dream that we were gonna, not a dream. I had a vision that we were gonna finish this all today. Maybe one more session, we'll be done with it. That's it, and then we're moving on
Two.
to another Siman Hilchos Purim.
Okay.
If you want to get a head start on it, we're not gonna do Tafresh Pei Ches because these halachas talk about the difference between cities walled and not. 14th, 15th. We know the story over here in the Gullus.
We're not near any more cities.
Yeah, we're not near nothing walled from the time Yeshua been in over here. So therefore, we're gonna skip.
What about Manhattan? What about Manhattan? Oh, it's because
Walled from Yeshua Bein Nun.
it's the fact that it's an
You know what's happening in the time of Yeshua Bein Nun in Manhattan? Grazing. That's about it. Cows, other animals. That's it. That's what was in Manhattan. Maybe there was an Indian. Maybe. Uli hai ve'ulai. So after this siman, in a session or two, we're going to wrap it up. Probably one session. We're going to move on to siman Tafresh Pei Tes. Okay?
Okay.
Very, very nice halachas.
On.
Basically, who's obligated in the Megillah and why, and kids and
good.
women and all that juicy stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, it's good stuff. All right. Mishna Berura over here, the Shulchan Aruch over here is saying like this. All right. Now we're going into the second topic of this sif, which we have to learn slowly and properly, not like yesterday. It says there's nothing that comes before the laning of the Megillah. Nothing. It overrides everything except for a meis mitzvah she'ein la koivrim. That means that there's a dead body on the street and no one's tending to it, into the burial, into getting the process moving. Kidei sarcho the Rama is, according to his needs. So that means someone who reaches that first needs to bury it, and then afterwards lay in the Megillah. Yeah? Comes along the Mishna Berura. It says, Melashon zeh muchach. From this language that the Rama adds on these two words, no one's burying it according to its needs. It's clear that afshahu be'ir sheyesh loy koivrim deshuv einu mutal b'bizayon. Even though he's in a city that has people who are involved with the burial process, and thus, consequently, the deceased is not placed in a disgraceful manner. Hazrizus lakavro koidim urak toisefes kavalo. And the what was the word?
Alacrity.
Alacrity? I like that word. Yeah.
Alertness.
The quickness to bury it comes before is only considered an additional honor. Even though so, it's permissible to be involved with these deceased before the laying Megillah. In Mashma Agah, so Siman Tafresh Tadivov, it's also applied from the Rama over there. The Sfira lay the Kfudas Meso Kodem. He holds that burying the deceased will proceed, will come first. However, Magen Avram, he quotes some poskim who hold that specifically this is referring to a meis mitzvah, an actual body, and no one is tending to it at all in the middle of the field. Shu mutal b'bizayon, placed in a very disgraceful way. She'in la kovrim, was no one to bury the body. But in a city that there are people that are worried about this, so then the laning of the Megillah would in fact come first. So that is the Magen Avram, which it seems that the Mishna Berura is leaning towards. How do I know? From the fact that he says aval. When you're saying aval, it means that he's holding that way. So this is going to be the difference that what? That if other people are worrying about it and tending to the body, then you should in fact hear the Megillah first. Imlo, unless it's the body's Talmud Chacham, his burial, Kavod Torah, yeah. Correct. So then his burial will come before the laying of the Megillah. V'chein hiski b'bir hagro, so the Gra says that as well. However, if you started taking out the body, you should not interrupt in the middle. Va'az nidche mikra megillah lagamri, and then the laning of the megillah will get pushed off completely. Even if you can't do it afterwards, kain's a customer pre chodesh gam kain ayin sham is what the pre chodesh says as well. See over there.
Now, mace mitzvah means any dead body. You have to know it's a Jew, or
It seems like it's a body that just isn't. No one's dealing with it for the burial.
even a guy.
I think so. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure.
no.
Not 100%. The Ramah said this is only talking about, by the way, if you have time to do both of them. But if you don't have time to do both of them, ein shu mitzvah daraisa nitches megillah. Mitzvah daraisa would not get pushed off because of Megillah. The mitzvah daraisa will come first. The avoda will come first in the base of mikdash. If you can't do both, let's go through that. Guys, uadin linyan mila Megillah. Let's say a person has a bris milah and a Megillah. Which one comes first and why?
Based on what we said, we're going to say if you can. Well, it depends if you could do both, right? If you can't do both, then the daraisa would come first. We said.
So
Milah. You would think.
Right. Im ikashihus laso shteihen Megillah koydim mishum b'shem v'nisa v'olam nohagin lamu called them a Megillah. If there's time to do both of them, laning will come first because publicizing the miracle is more important than even a mitzvah daraisa aka the milah. However, the custom is to do the milah first. Right? So he doesn't say why. He says like it says later on. We'll have to see when we get to those v'hada. However, if you can't do both, Yod wrote Salomer, she is battle mitzvah daraisa lagamri imlo she'asina, meaning you're gonna completely nullify and cancel that mitzvah daraisa, that mitzvah from the Torah, if you're not gonna do it on that day. So then that mitzvah will come before in Megillah. Mashakasav lakaime, and that which the Mishna Berura is gonna say later on, not the Mishna Berura, excuse me, that which the Ramah is gonna close up the simon. Oh, mace mitzvah comes first. That's only if you could lane after. Seems to contradict this idea of the daraisa. That which the burial comes first, that's only if you could do it after. Lane the Megillah after, which implies if you can't lane the Megillah after, mace mitzvah would not come first, which seems to be an exception to this. That which it says over there, you would lane it before. Hasam lo yizbat lagamri hamitzvah. It's kavud over there. You're not completely going to nullify the mitzvah of the burial. The mitzvah of the burial. You're not going to completely nullify it. The yellow efshal cover b'layla, it's possible to be involved with the burial at night. But yes, it would be true. The im lo efshal cover achakach, if you would be unable to bury the body afterwards. Going, for example, when they list him because of robbers, but yes, if you would be able to be involved, if you won't be able to be involved with the burial afterwards, for example, because of robbers and the like, so then even the dead body will come first, the mace mitzvah. Nothing gets pushed off. Laning the Megillah is only rabbinic. By Taz Shevi b'Shem Rachal, Taz quotes of Shlomo Yuria as well as the Bach. By Eis Chodesh Tamid making Megillah Koydem Mishum B'Shem Minisa. Laning the Megillah always comes first because of publicizing the miracle. And the Gra explains. Gamkin Sover Hachi Ayin Sham. The Gra also holds this way as well. But the Efshel Ulakarv, it's possible for you to do it. But if it's near the time of dark, so then you should lane the Megillah. It's talking about you didn't lane the Megillah during the day, so then you should lane it over there. Why? Because you could be involved with the burial at night.
We should say what happens if you can.
Oh, so it's continuing. That's what he says. Many Achronim argue on this. And they hold that even in a situation where you're going to completely miss the laning of the Megillah, Mace Mitzvah will come first. Why? Because of honoring people. So Mishna Berura already isn't holding the other way. That's what he says. I think far beyond allowed Davka Mace Mitzvah Mamish. That's talking about if it's an actual Mace Mitzvah allowed, but not with other deceased. And even if we're going to rule that other deceased also it's a mitzvah to do it first because before the laning, mitzvah to do it first before the laning. Upon him, we're gonna go push where it's gonna be pushed off complete the leaning of the Megillah, bevadai Megillah koidim v'yikfar mesa b'layla for sure. Megillah will go first, and you should bury the deceased at night. In which case,
he just said before was the nighttime, right? You want to fulfill the nighttime obligation. The mace mitzvah comes first at night.
this one, this part,
Um,
which part?
I-
He's going
I
back and
thought
forth.
below, didn't we learn?
Over here?
Didn't we say something before about that? Right, it was Mash was we have Shalom Kara Afka Kodem. Hassan is Balagami Mitzvahs Kabura. Deal F Shalom Kavra Balayla. Benachinami.
Yeah.
Jimbo yeah F Shalom Kavro, right? Achakach. They list them whatever I got now. That's the nighttime obligation, right?
Yeah.
And up there he's dealing with the daytime obligation. He doesn't give that scenario of what happens if you won't be able to bury
Yeah.
it.
Correct. This is actually very tricky to properly learn all
And we
this.
said even
Yeah.
if there's a kadisha,
Yeah.
if they're not going to tend to it quickly enough, you should still do it.
Average person has no clue what to do.
Right,
They
yeah,
got to
that's
just
true,
make a
that's
phone
true.
call. They got to make a phone
Nowadays,
call.
you make a phone call and you're done.
You have to make a phone call. That's why this doesn't take
Right.
long. Yeah. The only way it would work is you make a phone call, then you get questioned by police, you get questioned by Chaver Kedisha, and it ends up taking hours. So it could be relevant if you were going to one of the later minyanim in town. And then you chanced upon this.
Or is it the Lubavitch here has a laning every hour?
Right?
I think the Lubavitch on Maple has a laning every hour. In a day,
Every single hour?
every single hour.
People come?
I think so. I don't know, but I think that's what they
They're
do.
usually not a factory over there.
The Megillah, they make themselves a fact.
They do? Every hour, the whole day.
I think so. Starting from like 10 or 11 o'clock.
There are people that need it.
I guess so. Those people who work aren't so religious, you know.
Okay. Okay. Same Bob Gore?
I don't know.
Some shilas involved if you're just doing a leaning just for women with the brachas and all those things. All right. So Mitzvah Hashem, next time we will complete this. I mean, these are the Mishna Beruras. We just have to go through those. That's all we have left.
Okay, great.
All right. Very good. And then we'll start next time. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day, wonderful Shabbos. Perfect.
Sure. Good Shabbos.